The Israeli Air Force had lost just 19 planes, many to anti-aircraft fire from bases that finally awoke from their stupor. The backbone of the Arab coalition's air power had been shattered before the war had officially even begun. Think about the chain of events. The Egyptian commanders are all in one plane, incommunicado, the pilots are at breakfast, and the nation's entire radar defense system is turned off at the precise moment of the attack. Any single one of these elements could be called a coincidence, a stroke of luck, but all of them happening at the same time on the same morning? It creates a pattern that feels less like chance and more like design. The Israeli pilots were not supermen. They were young men bound together in what author Ann Patchett would call a found family, trusting each other with their lives. They were fighting for their homes, their families, their very future. But as they flew back to their bases that morning, through skies that were now miraculously theirs, even they must have felt it. They had executed the plan, but the perfection of its circumstances felt like it had been arranged by a force far greater than their own. The door had been opened for them, and through that door, they were about to rewrite the map of the Middle East. 6 years later, on October 6, 1973, it was Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, a day of fasting, of prayer, of quiet introspection. The nation comes to a standstill. There are no radio broadcasts, no television, no cars on the streets. It is a day when Israel is at its most vulnerable, its guards spiritually and militarily down. And that is the day the enemy chose to attack. In a brilliantly coordinated surprise assault, Egypt and Syria struck. In the south, Egyptian forces stormed across the Suez Canal, overwhelming the thinly defended Bar-Lev line. But it was in the north that the existential threat was most severe.